What is going on, guys? My name is Joaquin Corrales. Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, we're going to talk about whether you should get venture capital, whether you should get an investor when you're starting your company. So the bottom line is that no, you should not get an investor, okay? A lot of people talk about the idea of starting a business and waiting to need an investor. And if you think about it, a lot of the times it comes from people who have never started any business before or don't really know what to do at all, right? I think personally that when you're starting any business, you should definitely bootstrap it. And what that means is that you do everything in your power to not take any outside funding at all, okay? And the reason why you mostly want to do that and why I've done that with everything that I've ever started is because when you first start a business, first of all, it's not easy to get venture funding if you just started, right? Because you have no proven track record. And investors will only invest, they'll really in a way invest in something that's working or in a person, right? And what investing in a person means is that the person shows some sort of previous track record that allows the investor to feel confident in the choice that he's making. So when you're first starting off, not only is it a terrible idea to get venture capital, but you're probably also going to have a very hard time getting it if you want to do so. But also, let's say that you just started and you somehow you have a friend that has a ton of money, he wants to put it in you. You should not do that simply due to the fact that you're going to have to give up so much of your company, okay? You're going to have to give up so much equity in the business because it is not producing any money at all, and it basically doesn't even exist to a certain extent yet, right? So what you should definitely be doing when you're starting any business is figure out what you need to do to not take any outside money, right? If you need to work a side job, if you need to start a Shopify store, if you need to whatever you need to do to make some money on the side to fuel that, it's going to pay out in the long term in millions and millions of dollars potentially. Because, for example, imagine a company like Instagram, right? So Instagram sold for like $1 billion. If I actually don't know about the history of funding in Instagram, I'm sure they had funding. I don't know when they got it, but let's just imagine this scenario that I'm going to put out here. So imagine Instagram. So imagine that Instagram started and it took a $50,000, $100,000, I don't know, $200,000 investment from someone. And because it was just an idea and because it was a company that was just started, imagine that the investor was like, hey, I want 20% because this is just an idea. Like, you guys haven't done anything before, right? And then the company turns around, Instagram turns around and sells for $1 billion. So that guy just got $200 million off his $100,000 investment. And the owners of the business, they lost basically that much money because they wanted to take an early investment. Now, that did not happen. Okay, that did not happen. That was a made-up scenario just for the just so that you guys could kind of think about how it could cost you a lot of money as the owner of the business to take investment money early on, right? And guys, if you think about it, when you start a company, one of the fun parts, and I find it really fun, is that you have to figure out different ways to do things that are going to differentiate you from people who have so much more money than you. Like, for example, when I first started Contact Flow, I started putting advertisements out there that showed the company, that showed Contact Flow, that showed its features, that showed all of these types of things. And that didn't work. Like, I lost like $500 doing that. And we got like 1 or 2 users or maybe even none. I don't remember. But the bottom line is that we didn't get a lot of users at all. And it was super expensive. And so why? Why was it super expensive? Why didn't it work out? Well, it didn't work out because there were companies like MailChimp and other competitors who had so much more money to put their advertisements out there to basically the entire world. And they were a well-known brand. So I had to figure out alternative ways to try and run paid advertisement to fuel that company, right? So when you're in that position, you have to figure things out. And at the end of the day, that's what gives you value as a person, right? Like, I used to work at a food distributing company, and it's funny because my company is doing they're providing some services for them. And when they heard about how we're doing right now and what we're doing, they were like, dude, do you need any money? Like, do you need any venture capital? Like, we're willing to invest. And you see, so I wasn't even looking for it. Like, I didn't, it's not like I asked them, but when people see traction, when they see results, then they're going to want to throw money at you. But if you can, right, as much as maybe you would want to do it, do not do it. Like, don't do it unless you ultimately have to, because you're going to be giving away a percentage of your company, potentially a large percentage, and then you're going to have to respond to someone, right? I think one of the best things about being a business owner is that you don't respond to anybody. So I do whatever I want. If something doesn't work, oh well, just keep trying, keep doing new things. But when you have someone that is investing in your business, and let's say they invest $1 million and you put half of that money into something, you basically have a boss, right? You basically have a boss, because you have to respond to them as far as whether that worked. How is the company doing? How did you use their money? Well, did it make sense to use their money in that way, right? And that type of pressure, like I think I would do so much better without it. So obviously I said not now, right? Because maybe in the future I do want to do that for some reason when it comes to time. But guys, the bottom line is that you should definitely not take venture capital and just figure things out and grind to it, because at the end of the day, it's going to make a lot more sense for you guys. You're going to save a bunch of money, right? If your company ever sells for a lot of money, or if it continues to grow, and you don't have to respond to anyone, and it's all on you, right? Which some people could look at it in a good way, some people could look at it in a bad way. And if you look at it in a good way, then you'll probably win. So guys, this is Joaquin Corrales. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you tomorrow on the channel.